Well, last week was a busy one for the nation's defense ministry, with top military officials from the United States, which is Korea's biggest ally, visiting Seoul for a series of significant defense talks. Now, while some tangible outcomes have emerged that are expected to further boost the nation's defense capabilities, some outstanding issues do remain.
That's right. To walk us through the current military issues facing Seoul and Washington, and to provide perspective on the differences that still divide the two longtime allies, our Defense Ministry correspondent Han Daeun joins us live from the Arirang News Center. Hello, Daeun.
Good evening, Daniel. Kanyang. The annual Korea-U.S. Defense Dialogue ended last week, but major military issues are still the talk of the town here in Korea. The biggest outcome of the Security Consultative Meeting, or SCM talks, was, of course, the official endorsement of a tailored deterrent strategy against North Korean nuclear and missile threats. Since the strategy contains confidential military information, we're not privy to every single detail of the agreement, but I'll break it down for you as clearly as possible. The plan, the tailored deterrent strategy, is a specified tool that counters North Korea's asymmetric nuclear threat, and it's different from the previous abstract umbrella strategy provided by the U.S. Let's bring in a chart. The plan calls for military action based on 3 levels. The first is the level of a general threat. Since an actual threat has not been detected in this scenario, political and diplomatic efforts are primarily made to resolve Pyongyang's nuclear issue. Most of the time, the Korean military would operate within this level. The second is the level of imminent threat. At this stage, the military has detected imminent missile or nuclear activities from the north and deploys the nation's kill chain system to get rid of the threats. Most conventional weapons, including stealth fighter jets, stealth bombers, and aircraft carriers, will also be involved at this stage to support the kill chain system. The third is the level of an actual threat. At this stage, the Korea Air and Missile Defense, or KAMD system, will be activated to destroy missiles or nuclear weapons that may be in the air. And nuclear weapons provided by the U.S. will be used at this final stage. Now, I'm sure many of you are wondering what a kill chain or KAMD system is, so I talked to a weapons expert for further explanation.
A kill chain system is an aggressive defense system that deters the enemy's potential threats in advance. It's a quick chain of military action from threat assessment, conducted by all possible information collecting, to actual strike against missiles, all done in just 30 minutes' time. The KAMD system is activated when the kill chain fails to destroy missiles. It was built exclusively to intercept and destroy short-range but fast-speed missiles in the lower level of the air, so it won't fall on the South Korean soil.
Weapons experts say the kill chain and the KAMD system are basically the best South Korea can do, given the fact that we're not in a position to possess a nuclear weapon. Kanyang?
Well, Daeun, I think I now have a clearer grasp of what the tailored deterrent strategy is, and I'm sure our viewers have found that helpful as well. Now, let's move on to other pending issues, Daeun. How are experts reacting to how the talks were left regarding the transition of wartime operational control, which is currently set for December of 2015?
Well, as you know, there wasn't a clear conclusion as to when the OPCON would be transferred, but government officials and experts say Seoul and Washington have somewhat agreed on the need to further delay the timeline amid ever more increasing North Korean nuclear threats. What was stressed all throughout the security talks was that the transition would be conditions-based. Let's listen in to a defense expert on what this means.
The first condition would be evaluation of the current security situation, including assessment of North Korea's nuclear and missile threats. The second would be certifying the countering capabilities of the South Korean military. The certifying process would include assessing how well prepared the military is to command the wartime operational control.
Okay, now let's move on to a different topic. It's not everything, but it affects almost everything. What about the money, the ongoing military cost-sharing talks? I believe not much progress on that issue has been made.
That's right, Daniel. Seoul and Washington continued their tug of war on how much each should contribute in keeping the U.S. troops in Korea. The Korean government has put aside roughly $740 million for its share of the burden for next year, while the U.S. is requesting at least $930 million years. Situations aren't getting better amid Washington's tight budget cuts, but some experts remain optimistic.
Such differences have existed in the past. It's not the first time. I think the two sides will be able to work it out as long as they find ways to better systemize the cost division and monitor each spending. Also, there are a great amount of accumulated money that have not yet been spent.
And before I go, just as a reminder, a Korea-U.S.-Japan joint naval exercise will begin tomorrow, Tuesday. During the 3-day drill, U.S. aircraft carrier George Washington will be participating. Since the drill comes right after the Seoul-Washington defense talks and after a North Korea deterrence strategy was completed, it's expected to stoke already annoyed nerves of Pyongyang. We're hearing strong criticisms from the North, but it looks like we'll hear a lot more this week.
And we will keep a close eye on how the situation develops for the remainder of the week. Thank you, Dawn, for the comprehensive analysis.
That was our Defense Ministry correspondent Han Dawn with a wrap-up on current military issues between Korea and the U.S.